Hey, Sean Devlin, the mortgage shoes man, 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 shoes man. Hey, Sean Devlin, the mortgage shoes man. Hey, Sean Devlin, the mortgage juice man, coming at you with Thursday's thoughts. Yes, sir. Ready to rock and roll, wrapping up the month, wrapping up the week. Hopefully you guys are having a productive, strong week as well. Today, it's been a guideline week all week long. I've been going over all these wonderful FHA guidelines that a lot of times are asked about. So going over some of the most commonly asked questions. Hopefully you guys have been getting some good juice. Today is not any exception. We're going to go over some good new guideline stuff for you guys. Well, it's not necessarily new, but these are good guidelines as a reminder for sure. All right, so first one to talk about today is family member. Now, family member in FHA is clearly defined. I'm going to read it for you so you know. It's funny. There's a lot of people that ask this question. So, a family member is defined as follows. Regardless of the actual perceived sexual orientation, gender, or legal marital status. Child, parent, or grandparent, right? A child is a son, stepson, daughter, or stepdaughter. A parent is a grandparent and includes a step-parent, grandparent, or foster grandparent. Good stuff. Spouse or domestic partner. Legally adopted son or daughter, including a child who is placed with the borrower by an authorized agency for legal adoption. Foster child, brother, stepbrother, sister, stepsister, aunt, uncle, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law of the borrower are all considered family. Notice what I did not say in that was the word cousin. Cousin is not considered family. When you're doing those gifts with a cousin giving a gift, that's a close family friend, a lifelong friend. That's how you write that gift letter, by the way. Hint, hint. All right, so it's purchase season. We're moving along, There's been a couple flips. There's people moving homes. What are the rules for FHA? Well, I'm going to go over just that today on top of the family definition because it just coincides with where we are in the time of purchase season. So, it's still purchase season, ladies and gentlemen. If you ain't getting purchases, you're missing out. You're missing a boat. Relocation. So, in the aspect of a borrower getting another FHA loan. So, there's some exceptions for which a FHA borrower can have more than one FHA loan. Yes, you can. There's just a certain way you have to go about doing that. So these are great guidelines for you to know. So let's check it out. All right. So the exceptions include a relocation. So borrower may be eligible to obtain another FHA loan without being required to sell an existing property insured if the relocation is for an employment-related reason. And the establishing or has established a new principal residence in an area more than 100 miles away from the borrower's current residence. So, again, 100 miles away from the current residence is kind of be the key. Same thing with departing, a primary and using the, net rents, 75%. It's got to be 100 miles away. This relocation falls right into that. So they could have an FHA loan, be having a relocation within their job, buy another FHA loan if it's over 100 miles away, and then they could use rents on the one they're departing from. Way cool. All right. Another exception to this rule in getting Another FHA loan, increase in family size. Now, let me read it. It's got to be clearly defined. So, a borrower may be eligible for another house with an FHA insured mortgage if you can evidence that the borrower has an increase in legal dependence and the property now fails to meet the family's needs. Makes sense? And the loan to value on the current primary residence is equal to or less than 75%, or is paid down to that amount based on the outstanding mortgage balance and the current resident appraisal. So, there's two more exceptions why and how somebody can have two FHA loans. This happens quite a bit where you see non-occupied co-borrowers helping out their sister, their again, some non-occupied co-borrower helping a family member out. Then later on, they want to go buy their own. Well, here's the rule. Vacating a jointly owned property. So a borrower may be eligible for another FHA insured mortgage if the borrower is vacating with no intent to return to the primary residence, which will remain occupied by an existing co-borrower. A non-occupying co-borrower, which is the second one, a non-occupying co-borrower on an existing FHA mortgage may qualify for a new mortgage on a new property to be their own residence. No other explanation, guidelines, or anything in there. Just great to know. All right. So, last and final Thursday thoughts. I'm sorry it's long. It's just, these are good stuff. You have to know these FHA guidelines, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? I put these out there because I like to reference them too. So, really, this transfers of title and how flips are viewed for FHA. Here we go. Flips! I'm dodging the sun today. Where's that sun? Sun's out. I love it. Seems like it's getting really colorful this week. All right, here we go. Flip. Time restriction on transfers of title. All right, so it's important to understand how FHA looks at the whole thing. So FHA is determining the time that elapsed between the date the seller has acquired the property and the date the execution of the sales contract that will result in an FHA insured mortgage. So FHA defines the seller's date of acquisition as the date the seller legally acquired the property. And then FHA defines the resale date as the date of the execution of the sales contract. So this is important to know. So if you're looking at title and they acquired the property under 90 days ago and they're trying to sign a purchase contract, you're going to run into an issue. Remember, the purchase contract is what dictates that timing. So, acquisition to purchase contract signing. Know this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. All right. If a property is being resold 90 days or fewer following the date of acquisition, it's not eligible. Just straight up. Now, there is some exceptions. I'll go over that in a second. However, in between 91 and 180 days after acquisition, there's two rules. The mortgagee must obtain a second appraisal, and the borrower cannot pay for the appraisal, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the agents, the loan officer, other parties have to pay for it. So, the loan company, doesn't matter, anybody but the borrower. So the borrower can only pay for one appraisal. Just know that. So, 91, 180 days, you know that you have that type of flip going on. Plan for two appraisals. Put the fees on your fees worksheets, etc. On your LEs. Make sure that you're disclosing these things. Borrower cannot pay for it. So, the date of the acquisition, between 91 and 180 days of the sale of the property. The resale price is 100% or more over the price paid by the seller to acquire the property. So, if it's in between that time frame and the resale price is 100% or more over the price paid for by the seller for the acquisition of the property. If the second appraisal supports the value of the property that is more than 5% lower than the value of the first appraisal, the lower value must be used as the property value. So they're supposed to support each other, not necessarily work against each other. If they come in 5% greater in difference and one is lower than the other, you're going to use the lower one. It's exactly what it says. Now, here's the exceptions, okay? So, exceptions to time restrictions on a resale. So, look, if you have properties acquired by an employer or a relocation agency in connection with the relocation of an employee, can they flip that house and sell it and insure it through FHA to the borrower? They can. Resales by HUD under the REO program, obviously. Government agencies, sales of properties by nonprofits that are approved to purchase HUD single-owned properties at a discount with resales restrictions, but it could be within that 90-day window. Okay, sales of properties that are acquired by a seller's inheritance. Inheritance is one example of where you are allowed to have the flip on FHA. It's an exception. Sales on properties by a state or federally chartered financial institution and GSE, the government-sponsored entity, like Fannie, Freddie. Sale of properties by local and state government agencies, and really any of the government agencies that you could really think of that are helping homes move. I mean, or any program out there that is government supported for housing. Well, that's kind of going to be the general rule. All right, so there you go. Flip rules, family definition, and exceptions to have two FHA loans. What a great video today, and I'm so sorry it's 12 minutes long. It is what it is. Have yourself a wonderful day. Share, interact, like, repeat. As always, sell well.